Hello everybody, it's Ariel. It's so good to see you guys again. If you are new to this channel, since the last video we got a lot of new people. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and welcome in. And of course, if you have been a long-term subscriber of mine, thank you so much as always for watching my videos, engaging with them, and everything that you do for me. Appreciate it. So today we're going to be going through my favorite triggers, and this is going to be kind of like another video that I posted a couple months back, but in that one it was like a clinic role play. So if you're more interested in that, definitely go there. But today I wanted things to be a little bit more low-key, and I can kind of ramble to you guys because there's a lot I wanted to talk about, just random stuff. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first thing I'd like to tap on is this concealer cylinder. Oh, the first trigger is tapping. Probably should have mentioned that. The multitasker. Now, I think a lot of this video is going to be me talking about books. Guys, insane stuff has been happening in the book that I'm reading, one of the books that I'm reading right now. Crazy stuff. And I mean crazy things. And I'm struggling because I want to talk about it with everybody, and I want to say, oh my god, this happened, but it's a spoiler, and so it's in the third Game of Thrones book, and literally everything has been happening lately in the book. And I just want to talk about it. Now, I can talk about it with people who have seen the show because they kind of know everything, but I haven't seen the show yet. I think I'm halfway through season 3 because I'm kind of trying to watch it while I read it. But some of my closest friends, they haven't seen the show, they haven't read the books, and so I'm like, oh my god, I'm exploding. I need to talk to you about this, but I do not want to ruin their experience with the media. But I did finish one of the books I was reading yesterday, Ender's Game, which I have read once before, but I was very young when I read it. I think I was about 7 years old, and that's a little bit young for Ender's Game, unfortunately. Here it is, my sunscreen. I don't think, there are some people who loved Ender's Game when they read it at age 7. One of my best friends at that time was one of those people. But for me, I think it was just a much better experience reading it now. And it would have been a much better experience reading it at 14 or older than that. I just feel like I didn't quite have a grasp on the bigger themes of the book, which are important. I think the book is a masterclass in establishing themes and then helping them come to fruition through a really compelling plot and a really likable but very flawed character. themes of control, feeling like other people have control over your life and you have no control. Themes revolving around age and how people who are adults feel a sense of entitlement when it comes to children and feel that they are the ones that should have that power, should have that control over the kids. And themes of agency. Kids not feeling like they have agency even when they're being used mercilessly to do so many things. It's very incongruent, because when you are being used so much but you're not given the privileges of agency, what are you being given? No compensation is going to be enough for that. Themes of war, the senselessness of war, the idea of striking before the enemy can strike, and preparatory fear. A lack of care for everybody who's dying, for civilians, a complete and total lack of empathy for entire races of organisms. Anyways, I am kind of going on and on about Ender's Game. I'm also reading A Song of Susanna, which is the 6th book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. This series is like his magnum opus. It's his in my opinion, it's his best work. But it's also just so expansive, and it is so many books. It's 8 books when you count the an interim novel that sort of comes between. Can't remember what books it comes between, and I'm not going to read it till I finish the main series. But A Wind Through the Keyhole, and it's a little shorter, and he wrote it after the other ones were written. So technically 8 books, but I believe when you look at just the main series, it's 7 books. I think this is the second to last book. I've been reading the Dark Tower series since my senior year of high school, so that's been like basically 4 years at this point, which is crazy. Not only that I've been reading the series for that long, but also that it's been that long since my senior year of high school. Anyways, I don't know why that I am rambling so much. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna move on to another favorite trigger of my fabric scratching. The first fabric that we have to scratch is a new scarf that I got from here in Madrid, from the local market, which goes on every Sunday, called El Rastro. And I think I have had some requests to do scarf videos specifically on my new scarves, so that will be coming out. Don't fret. This scarf is the one that I wear most often out of the 2 that I got at El Rastro. I got the 2 of them for €15 in total. Great deal. It's so fuzzy, but I've specifically been wearing one most often because I kind of want to preserve the fuzziness of the other one for as long as possible. Anyway, so I read the first book of the series as a senior in high school, but it took me a while because I was actually not really getting into it. I will tell you that it was a little harder for me to fully appreciate that first novel, and I'm not sure why. I think I am sure why. I think it's because of what it lacks compared to the next books in the series. In book 2, we introduce more characters, and then in book 3, things just go off the rails. And book 3, The Wastelands, is actually my favorite book that I've ever read. So I think The Gunslinger, the first book, is just a little bit bare of what makes the other books so incredible. It only has 2 characters. Well, there are more characters in the story, but 2 main characters, whereas the other books have 4 main characters at the least. Anyways, so The Gunslinger, it took me a long time. It's pretty short though, so it was sort of an embarrassingly long time to finish that book. But then I picked up Drawing of the Three, the second book, my freshman year out of college. Read that during the first half of the first semester, and then I read The Wastelands second half of the first semester. But it really, it took me a couple of episodes of sitting down and reading, because each time I sat down and read, I just read so much of it because I loved it so much. So I had to choose a time when I had a lot of time. I'd read 200 pages and then go on with other things I had to do. So even though it took me about half a semester to read the book, it was a couple sittings to do so. Because I'm telling you, if you're looking for a novel that just ropes you in, because I had been sort of starving for a book that would be a page turner. It had been a while for me since I had really, really gotten into a story like that. And I just miss the days when I would curl up on a couch and just read Harry Potter for 12 hours, or Percy Jackson, or Land of Stories. And I can still do that. I still pick up Percy Jackson and Land of Stories and stuff. But I wanted to read new things. I wanted to be well read. And for a couple years, it would be forcing myself to read new things, and I would get into it and I would understand the value of doing that reading, but it never felt so effortless as it had when I was a kid and when I could just really easily slip into those worlds. Well, as soon as I picked up The Wastelands, King he has this buttery, beautiful way of writing that just really pulls you in, and it's extremely detailed in terms of understanding the character whose eyes you're seeing through. But also, he just went crazy with all these different ideas, all these different fantastical things that were happening, and scary, dark things that were mixed with things that were totally ridiculous, but they gave you the chills because he wrote it in such a phenomenal way. So, Wastelands, and then so then I read the fourth novel, Wizard and Glass, which broke me into pieces. Guys, it shattered me. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Wizard and Glass will take your heart and rip it out of your body, and it's great. I remember I might have told you guys this story already, but it was winter break of my freshman year of college, and my family was at a pizza restaurant, and I was reading, had the book at the table, and I just started crying, kind of uncontrollably. It was a little scary. Put the book to the side. I was trying to hide my face with the book, and my parents were like, "Oh my god, Ariel." My brother was like, "I don't know this girl." Anyways, somebody came up to ask us what we would like for dinner, and I was just hiding my face inconsolable, and I was like, "I would like the pasta, please." Just crying, my eyes out. And it was so funny. It just did that to me. Like, just at super random times I would just start crying, which is what Mockingjay did to me, the third book in the Hunger Games series. When I was reading that novel, I was just going crazy. Like, I was seeing names in graffiti like around my middle school. I was like crying when certain songs came on the radio that were, you know, just a little bit sad. And when I actually did finish the novel, I was crying so hard. My dad was picking me up from gymnastics class and he'd take me home, and just the entire 20-minute ride, I was just crying, sobbing. I couldn't stop, and he was so sweet about it. He was like, "Oh, like, this really connected with you, didn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So that book and Wizard and Glass, those are some of the only books that have really done that to me so far. Okay, next we're gonna do clamping. After finishing Wizard and Glass, sorry, I was trying to remember whether it was this next book or Wizard and Glass where I was just completely like hooked so hard right from the beginning. And it was Wizard and Glass because it was just the continuation of the Wastelands. Again, my favorite book, the third book in the series. It was the immediate continuation of the end of that book. And I remember I was at my brother's middle school band concert, his last year of middle school, and I was sitting there like before the concert started. I would open the book. My dad was sitting next to me, and he's read so many Stephen King books. Like, he's the one who introduced me. So I'm sitting there reading, and I'm just like absolutely going insane, and I'm just like bubbling over with excitement. And I saw my AP statistics teacher, by the way, like one of the best classes I've ever taken. I really love this teacher. And I saw him, and I was like, all I could talk about was just the book. I was like, "Oh, how are you? Like, this is what I'm doing in school also." And he had read it, so it was a good time to geek out. But anyways, I think that night I was just reading aloud to my dad. When we got home, I just read the rest of that first chapter aloud to him, and we had so much fun. We just stayed up till the wee hours. Anyways, so the book after Wizard and Glass is Wolves of the Calla. Now, my dad told me I had to read a specific book before I read Wolves of the Calla. And that book, Salem's Lot, also by Stephen King. It is the second book he ever wrote. So the first book he wrote was Carrie, which I have not read. Second, Salem's Lot, and third, The Shining. So I read first The Shining and then Salem's Lot before reading Wolves of the Calla. So The Shining took up my spring break. freshman year. And then Salem's Lot was the rest of that semester. And then was the Kala. I started it that summer at one of my internships that summer. And that one was slow going as well, to be quite honest. World of the Kala is really good, but I don't know. It was like I had sort of been riding the high of Wizard and Glass for 2 books already, and it was sort of coming down, but I still liked it. It just took me a little while to get into it again. So I only finished Wolves I didn't finish Wolves until like the second semester of my sophomore year of college, or the first semester of it. So it took a while, but I mean, that same summer I started the Game of Thrones series, so that hooked me. Anyways, now I'm on Song of Susanna, and it's really great. I had like a 9-hour bus ride yesterday, and I was just reading. Time to marry this trigger with the next one, which is flipping. But I am pretty close to finished with Storm of Swords, the 3rd Game of Thrones book. I've been on it for a little while now. I finished the first book that summer that I started reading it, so the summer after my freshman year. Started it during my second internship and finished it like pretty much right before school started for sophomore year. And then it took me pretty much the rest of that year to finish the second book, to start and finish it. And then I've been on the 3rd book since late in the spring semester of sophomore year. I was just about to like apologize for talking about the books I'm reading, and then I was like, no, like I want to talk to you guys about it, and I want to just like, you know, talk to you because we've like made our little community, and I want to talk to you guys about what I'm reading. Unless you don't like it, like let me know. But I realized that the reason I was sort of about to be like, oh wait, what should I be talking about, is because I'm a little bit scared and freaked out and alarmed that my last video blew up a little bit more than the other ones ever have, and like in the first day or so it was like at 1,000 views, and now it's like plateaued at like 2.4 thousand views, which, guys, that's a lot of views for me. That's a lot. So I was kind of like, oh, what is going on? Wait. What happened? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, like, are the new people who have subscribed? Like, thank you for subscribing, by the way. I really appreciate it. What are you guys going to want to see? Like, do I have to like act a certain? And then I'm like, no, just be natural. Keep doing what you've been doing. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing and just rambling to you guys, doing some role plays, having some fun, doing a lot of tapping. I really appreciate all of those who have subscribed in the last like week. Like, a lot of new people on the channel, so thank you so much. And of course to all of my subscribers, everybody who's watched anything, I really appreciate you guys. Okay, next thing we're going to be doing is scratching non-fabric surfaces. So I'm going to bring back out this notebook. Brought other books here with me as well. I have 11/22/63 by Stephen King, and I'm maybe a third of the way through that book. It's freaking long. It's like 1,200 pages. And I'm at a little bit of a stagnant place with that one at the moment. I just need to get through the chapter I'm on. But things were going so fast paced with that book up until like basically this chapter. So I was a little bit disappointed, but I mean, I'm excited to see what Stephen King cooks. So like what he cooks up for the rest of the book, of course. You never want to doubt the king. Never would dare to doubt the king. I'm just saying like the beginning was so good, and now I'm just like also I don't know. It's like it's a little harder for me to pick up the book on faith because of the plot. The plot is that a man finds a time machine in the back of a diner, and it takes him back only to 1959, a specific day in 1959. I think it's September 9th. And it's like the same time of day, like 11:55 a.m., September 9th in 1959. And his friend who found the time machine earlier than him and is passing away, but really wants to see his plan come to fruition, he tells our main character, like, you need to stop the Kennedy assassination. Eventually in 1963, Kennedy's gonna, an assassination attempt is going to happen against Kennedy, and you need to be the one to stop it. So our main character basically has to spend 4 years in, back in time and figure out various things about Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah. Oswald. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm blanking. So, I actually really liked the plot, but I soon realized that the reason I was loving the beginning of this book, the first third, was because he was going back in time to stop something much more immediate. He was actually trying to stop the murder of the family of a student of his. His student, mid-60s maybe, and his family was really brutal things happened to his family in his childhood. So our main character went back to try and stop that, and that was very immediate because it was happening in the same, just a couple months after he would get there in September 9th. Not even a couple months. It was on Halloween night, so like a month and a half, a little more than a month and a half. So there wasn't a whole lot of time for King to like put things in there, like research and stuff like that. Like the character just like learned what he had to learn about the perpetrator and then try and stop it. And it was very like, okay, but now when I look at the book and I'm like, do I want to pick this one up right now? I look at how much I've left and I know what the plot is, trying to stop the Kennedy assassination, and we're still only in like 1960 at this point, so I'm just like, man, because if I know one thing about the King, he does like to draw things out. He does. Oh my god. I have just been rambling to you. There's another trigger, I suppose, but now we're gonna do some mouth triggers. So, Ariel, stop rambling. Mouth trigger time, okay? Okay. Dangerous color of lipstick. Let's do the hand rubbing trigger and the fingers. when I do this, I feel so much like GB ASMR, and I feel so cool. I love GB. Okay, let's move to another one of my favorites. Taping like a secretary. Has anybody here seen Secretary? I really want to see it. I've seen the trailer. What's your guys' favorite movie? Because my favorite movie, a little film called Serenity. Serenity. The companion movie to the show Firefly, which has a reboot coming out. Which made me cry when I saw the announcement. My favorite show is... Well, I don't know what my favorite show is, but Firefly's up there. I usually have like 5 favorites, and they don't really like eclipse at, you know, each other. Firefly's one of them. It's a space western, guys. A space western. Command key, option key, shift, return. Colon, 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 quotation, quotation, S-A, S-A, W, Q. Up, down, side, side. Okay, we're now going to shift to something a little different, which is personal attention, of course. Of course. So, I am going to do your mascara. Heck yeah. Okay, so I just got it on my finger because, wow, great job. So I want to ask you, how do you want your mascara done? I'm gonna give you like a gentle first coat. Close your eyes. Close them. Close them. Close them. Okay, next eye. Close. 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 Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now take a look in the mirror. Do you want more? You know what I think? If I was to give you my professional opinion, I would say that I want to give you just a little bit more mascara. Get those lashes pretty fluffy. What do you say? Okay. Close. 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 Yeah, nice and slow for me. Shoop. 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 Beautiful. Okay, what do you think? Do you want bottom lashes as well? Bottom as well? Yes, no, maybe, so. I knew you'd say yes. Okay, I'm just gonna, yeah. There you go. Try not to cry. Oh, I got a little bit on your face there. So, move some things around. Okay, just don't move for me. Okay, there you go. Beautiful. Let me just finish up the job, okay? Great. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit of therapy. So, I'm going to ask you, how's your week been? It's been a week since we last saw each other. Okay, so I just want to tell you that you are completely valid, okay? Your feelings on this are valid. Remember what I always tell you. Feelings are neither good nor bad. It's the actions that you take that could be divided into one of those categories, okay? But feelings are neither good nor bad. They just are. They just happen, okay? So, it's okay. Alright, it's totally okay to feel that way, and I understand why you would feel that way. That's really, really frustrating, and it's also really nerve-wracking, and it's really hard to deal with, okay? Okay. So, we're going to talk about this in terms of some of your past experiences. I want you to think back on what you told me about last month. Do you remember? Okay, if you could, do you want to open that door a little bit today? Okay, alright, let's talk about it. So, to just ease you into it, when did this take place? And where? And where in the house? And, pardon me, who was involved? Who was involved? Okay, now I want you to tell me the details of this event and think about how this is kind of similar to what we're talking about today. What happened this past week? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, can you tell me specifically what was said? Of course. Would you like something to hold on to, something to play with a little bit? Here, I'll give you this because I like to do this. Here you go. Do you want to stop talking about it? Because we could just come back to it at another time. You want to keep going just a little bit? Okay. Yeah. Hey, you're so brave. Thank you for opening up about this. Right. Yeah. You know, I think sometimes it can be really easy for us to say, oh, that was my fault. Because, you've been taught throughout your life that you're the only person you can rely on. And by association, that honestly means that you're the only person you feel comfortable blaming. Do you feel like that's true? Yeah. It's very independent of you, but it's sort of coming out in a way that does hurt you because a lot of the times things are not your fault. No. Why do you think you've had to rely on yourself? And so I think what happened this week is harkening back to that, and the reason that you were left feeling so awful about yourself is that you've literally been conditioned by years of betrayal of trust, betrayal of basic instinct for people that should care for you, abandonment, of course, and that's not your fault, okay? So what we have this week is an opportunity for you to say, no, this wasn't my fault. I'm not going to fault myself for it. Now, it's not that easy, and it's not going to be that easy ever, okay? You're always going to feel that little bit of shame, of guilt, okay? But I want you to give yourself permission to be angry at them, okay? Because they hurt you. And, you know, being angry at somebody signifies that they crossed a boundary of yours. And that, you know what that means? It means that you have boundaries, and that's a good thing. You need boundaries, okay? Even with the people who are closest to you. Yes. And you know what? People that really love you are going to respect the fact that you have boundaries. They might make mistakes sometimes and cross those boundaries, okay? But that's where a two-sided relationship comes in. You gotta tell them that they crossed those boundaries, yeah. What do you think about what we're talking about? How do you feel? Hey, that's very, very reasonable and very valid. Yes, no, I can see, yeah. Yeah. Hey, I think that's a really important breakthrough insight that you have there about yourself. Yeah, so it's very hard for you to set the boundaries because you're afraid that by setting them, you are driving the person away. Right, because of exactly. My first instinct, my first response to this, and we can workshop this as time goes on, is to kind of, you know, make this your kiddie pool. You are testing the waters here, okay? You're putting your toe in, and then you're putting your foot in, then you're, you know, actually walking into the water. I want you to put your toe in this week and tell them that you are sad about what happened. And, you know, maybe give them that opportunity to ask you to elaborate. Yeah. That's a way for us to kind of test out, see, are they, you know, invested in you? Do they want to know how you're feeling? Because that's what good friends do. And then we can come back and say, is this person someone that's worth having in your life? Yeah. Does testing it sound okay? And then eventually, you know, if well, I don't really want to use this terminology, but if they pass all the tests, it's not really like that, but you know what I mean, then we can really set a boundary and be very clear about it. Because also then we're not so scared. We know how they're going to react because we've done all the building blocks up to that point. What do you think? Okay, I'm proud of you. Okay, guys, a little bit of therapy, which is not to be taken as, I mean, guys, I'm 20. I turned 21 in 2 months. So I'm not a therapist. So I don't want anything I said to be taken as like advice. I mean, I want to give advice. Like, I want to give what advice I can give. Like, I really want, I want to be as good of a friend as I can be. I just mean like not like specific, like expert, which I don't think anybody was thinking that, so it's kind of ridiculous for me. I'm sure we're gonna move on to a writing trigger, okay? Now, I want to get up close because in the member only video that I did, the first member only video that I've ever done, which came out on Monday, I received a note that the writing sounds weren't really coming through that well, which is very important for me to know. Thank you so much. And I think it's because I don't have my mic here, but I'm still gonna try to. So I'm writing. I'm trying to get real close to my phone here. Let me write a little ode to ASMR. Oh, ASMR. How you complete me. How you take me from half to whole. How you fill my basin with crystal clear rest. Much needed. My heart gives its thanks. An ode to ASMR. Okay, now we're gonna do over-explaining, baby. Over-explaining. So I want to tell you, this is called a pen. So, a lot of people use these basically on a day-to-day basis because one thing about, our society is that we do tend to need to communicate with one another. And one way that we actually do that is through writing, aka making marks or etchings on various surfaces as a method of communication between people. Okay, so various languages have sprung up around the world over time. The language that I am currently speaking is English. This is the alphabet that I, among many others, use, and that English speakers, among speakers of many other languages, use. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's just the beginning of our alphabet, which is the collection of letters that are used in our writings. Now, when you see a word, this is a word, it's a little string of letters that has a significance. Okay, we see a letter here, C, a letter here, A, and a letter here, T. C, A, T. C, A, T. Now, when these letters are put together, we can actually sound them out and create this word with our mouths. Now, C often has the hard C sound, which is k, k, k. A, in this case, has the sound, and T has the t, t. Cat, 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 cat. Okay, so that's this word. This word is cat. Now, every word has a particular significance. As I said before, this particular word refers to an animal. These animals can range wildly in species, in size. But the cat that I'm thinking of is a little house cat, which you may have seen if you spent, any time amongst humans. Maybe about this big, with pointy ears, a long tail, a little nose here with a mouth that kind of whiskers, eyes that look decidedly different from human eyes, with these slit-like pupils, fur covering their whole body, and then where humans' arms, you see my arms, and then my legs here, they don't have arms, they have 4 legs, and on the bottom of each leg is something that you could say it somewhat resembles a human hand, okay, but it has a pad here, and then pads for their little claws. And all this information can be written down with the ink from this pen. Okay, folks, I feel a little bit frazzled because I want to thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, engaging in any way, because I do feel like we are growing, by the day. I think when I put out my last video, I was at 785 subscribers, maybe, and now we're almost at 900 subscribers, which is crazy. Not the rate things usually have been going, but we've been a community for over a year at this point, and I'm just so excited to see where we're going to go. I do want to let you know again that I now have a membership option on my channel. It's called the Shimmer, like the Shimmer member thing. And I currently have 2 people in the membership roster, and I'm very, very happy to have them there. Those people are Will Packer and Ogreitis, and I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me in that manner. It's $4.99 per month to get 1 member-only video per week. So that's between $1 and $2 per video, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. And I also have a Google form that's just for members where you can put in your very, very detailed suggestions that I will attempt to follow to a T for you. If you want specifically, like, exclusive to you, custom videos, then you can feel free to email me. I will put my email address in the description below. It's also just in my channel description and in some of my written posts. So email me at any point in time with anything. I mean, you can email me about customs, but you can also email me about concerns you have, really anything that you'd like to recommend or tell me about. So yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great night, and I want to wish you the best of rests. If anybody is still awake, do that classic engagement thing where you go on and you say put a purple heart meaning I'm still awake at the end of the video. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do that, so now I'm like, guys, put a heart in the comment section if you're still awake. Sorry guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm so excited. Anyways, I hope you guys sleep really well, okay? Alright, I'll see you soon. Bye, keep it shiny.